Welcome back to Kevin Toll Read. Good morning. Happy Friday. Hope you're doing well. So I wanted to give you kind of a recap of last night. If you don't remember, last night was the Ken Liu speaking event at the library north of us in Central Illinois, and it was a fantastic night. My mother went with me, and we had a great time. We got to listen to Ken Liu speak for about an hour, discussing a number of topics, mainly his fascination with AI and what it means to not only novel writing, but also just in general, what it means to the business, art, a lot of manufacturing and its ramifications, and what he felt was his stance on the matter. And ultimately, it became a matter of, there's positives and negatives for AI and what it means. And I thought it was a really interesting take. We got to see him discuss, various examples, and it was fascinating, to be honest with you. Talking about, the printing press and how, if it's making copies of things, AI is always going to be far superior in accuracy than in production when it comes to that versus humans, and how back in millennia ago, how you had scribes that would do nothing but scribe documents and they would copy them, and how interpretation became a big thing, and how AI really kind of cuts down to the nitty and gritty. But on the flip side, how it also brings a lack of individuality and artistic meaning to everything. And so there was definitely an interesting conversation around how that works and how machines can do really good things. He also talked about movie and theater, and how, the recent events around AI, people trying to recreate either books or movies related to AI's understanding about certain artists and their trends and how they write. And his stance was very interesting in the sense that he believes it'll be interesting because AI will offer new avenues and new ideas, but at the same time, it's always going to be less interesting, less individual, and you're not going to have that sense of artistry that you're going to get with a human. And so it was interesting. A lot of the stories in this particular collection, The Hidden Girl and Other Stories by Ken Liu, was heavily influenced around AI and its place in humanity. And so it was interesting to kind of hear some deeper discussion around that. Obviously, at the end, there was some Q&A. I didn't get asked a question. There was only a handful of questions that were asked. But I did end up standing in line and getting his signature, and which was really cool, and I will never forget that, because it was just interesting to be that close and personal with someone that you enjoy and have a little bit of a stardom for. And it was interesting. We were, a little funny story, we were standing in line and they were coming through and they were passing out Post-it notes, and they were having you write your name. So when you put it on the front of your book, he was only going to sign, you were limited to how many books you could have him sign, and you get X amount of 30 seconds with him. And so it was interesting in the sense that they were very organized. We got through the line relatively quickly, but my mom was there and she goes, "I wonder if he'll recognize you from YouTube." And I said, "No, Mom, he's not going to." But I appreciate that. I thought that was kind of funny. But I did get his signature. I told him thank you. I didn't really want to waste his, too much of his time. Wanted to be cognizant of that fact. And it went really well. It was a fun event. It was all free by this library about an hour north of us. And it was great. I mean, there was a lot of people that bought many copies of his books. They were being sold. They were relatively cheap, and they were getting them signed, and I brought my own. So it was a great evening. So just wanted to give you an update, let you know. I mean, I'm really happy. I'm really happy I did it. For us folks here in the central part of Illinois, you don't really get that a lot. unless you're up in Chicago or down in St. Louis, where you're in more major metropolitan areas. So to get something, a rider of this quality and cachet to come locally was a real treat. So I hope you're having a great Friday. I just wanted to give you kind of an update. I've been talking about this for several weeks, and I'm really glad I went and spent the time last evening, and I got to spend some time with my mom, so it was a great evening. So with that being said, I hope you have a great Friday. I do not know that I'll have another video today, but maybe.